Hey, badass business owners, got a question for you. What's your why? Now, what on earth am I talking about? Well, I really want you to tap in and understand your why. Capital WHY. What's your why? All right, Tammy, you're confusing me. I don't understand. All right, well, let's kind of open this up a little bit, shall we? What is your why? Your why is what gets you up in the morning and what makes you do this job in the first place. What made you start this business? What are you trying to achieve with your business? Now, the why is a lot of times several layers deep compared to what you think about, because you might say, well, I want to run a successful business. I want to make some money. I want to take care of my family. All of those can be true, but I want you to ask yourself, why is that important? And then whatever answer you get, ask another, why is that important? And then ask again, why again? There's this great book out called The Why, and or Know Your Why, or I forget what the name of it is. But anyways, one of the things that they talk about is understanding your why. And ever since I read that book several years ago, it really has helped me help people really try to focus on things they need to do. Because have you ever felt like just, you've got 50 million things to do and you just don't want to do any of them? Have you noticed that the only time you seem to be amped up and ready to do your business is when you got crap on your plate and you need to do it? Like you have a customer and you've got these 3 customers you got to take care of. But otherwise, once you're done with your customers, you're kind of like, yeah, I'll get to it. Maybe you're overwhelmed by all the different things that you need to do. You're not alone. I go through it. A lot of people go through it. A lot of entrepreneurs go through it, believe it or not. It's a very common thing. And a lot of times it's because we have all these things we need to do, but we're not fascinated by it. We're not energized by it, right? Because it doesn't tap into our why, what motivates us, what gets us to get excited. If you're like me, people would give me a 3-week project and I'm doing it the night before. I just wasn't into it. My why kicked in because I wanted a good grade and I wanted to get it. So when my why kicked in and I didn't want to get in trouble in school, that's why I would finish it the night before and I'd do a pretty bang up job, because all of a sudden my why became strong enough, right? Because I didn't want the F, I got it done. A lot of you, when I've talked to you, you have shared the exact same thing. Unless there's some kind of hardcore motivation, we really don't want to do a lot of different things. And whether it's our business or personally or whatever the case may be, you have probably found yourself doing the exact same thing. One, I do recommend reading the book. I'm going to pop it up over here because I didn't look it up before I got going. And I'll put a link to it. It's a great book. It really is. It really helps you understand your why. And I've listened to a few other things on it. But when we're talking about the why, there are certain things that prevent you from growing your business. And what happens is it's because you don't understand that why. You're not really tapped into it. And you know where I see this a lot, by the way, are people that have had some success. Because when we first start our business, we're very motivated. We are very much in tune to our why. We want to get this business going. We want to make it happen. So we start hustling and we do all the things we need to do. But then when business kind of comes to us a little bit, our why is not as strong, because, if you're motivated by money and you need to be able to pay your bills, the minute you make enough money to pay your bills, you kind of slack off, right? That why is no longer super strong. So your need isn't greater to double your business. Your need is greater for peace, relaxation, or whatever the case may be. So it could be the stage of your life. It could be what else is going on. Sometimes we put that why ahead of another why. And you probably, when you start thinking about different things that's going on, you're probably going to find out the same thing. So really, if you want to jumpstart something in your business, or you want to get a project done, or you want to go get something, you want to make sure that you are very crystal clear on your why. I want to make more money. Why do you want to make more money? Well, I don't want my family to have to struggle. Great. Why do you not want to have your family struggle? Well, I don't like when I let people down. Okay, why do you not like to let people down? Because when I let people down and they count on me, I just feel like crap. I just don't want to be that person. I mean, you see how you can keep asking a question and you can keep dialing that thing down. For some people, they grew up poor and they never want to be poor again. Or it could be they don't want to live on the streets, and that's a big enough why. If that's your why, sometimes people, that's all they do is work, because they never want to end up on the streets. And then other people, they go, okay, I make enough money, I'm not going to end up on the streets. And that's good enough to hit the same why. So they're the same why, but one keeps going and one kind of stops because they feel comfortable, if you kind of get what I'm saying. Sometimes it's you're in the wrong business. Maybe your why is you're okay with your business. You're not like super dedicated to it. You're not excited by it, but it pays the bills, so you keep it. You're just like, yeah, okay. Well, I make enough money from this business. I'm not going to go above and beyond. It's a good thing because it doesn't float your boat. It doesn't get you excited. But you find that other things pop up and you go squirrel and you go off and you start wanting to spend more time on that because that does excite you. So for example, when I work on real estate, I'm good at it and I can make good money at it, but it doesn't light my fire. When I'm talking to you guys and I'm doing coaching calls, especially, that's my why. That taps into my why. I love helping people and I love coaching people. So what ends up happening is I'll go do that any day of the week because it's so much more fun. And, sometimes I can neglect other things that I should be working on just because I'd rather go do that, right? And sometimes I go down these rabbit holes and with folks, I'm like, I got to figure out how to help them. And meanwhile, I'm working off, I don't want to say off the clock because I'm not really on the clock, but I'll keep working on a solution, or my mind will keep working on a solution for them because I get excited by that. So what you have to do is you have to ask yourself, when it comes to things that you know you need to get done, is it because you're no longer in love with the business? Is it that something else is more passionate for you? Now, I'm not telling you to close your business. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, how can you find a way to incorporate into your business that same why, that same passion, that same thing? Or maybe there's something about that business, even though it's not your favorite, but it's a why you can tap into and get behind and get excited about, and you can go ahead and chase down and make even stronger. A lot of times, by the way, it comes down to when people want to do things for their family, or they want to provide for their family, or money, in which case, some people, it's a sense of belonging or creating something amazing. Or some people get excited when they're told they can't do something and like, oh, you're not going to tell me I can't do something. And then they go out there and they create something just to prove people wrong. The problem is once they prove them wrong, they've lost their why. And then they kind of like, okay, well, now what am I going to do? I'm trying to think of all these different examples because I really want you to think about when you are stuck and you're finding you can't get the gumption up, if you will, or the motivation up to be able to take that step in your business that you know you need to take. I want you to ask yourself, why? What is it that you are prioritizing over something else? Or how can you create a why that is so strong, stronger than anything else, that will motivate you to go do it? Recently when I was doing some stuff around my house, it was funny because I'm always like, I don't want to work on that project because I'm changing offices and doing some different things. And sometimes I get more motivated by it than others. And usually it's because I want something or I need something or I'm tired and I can't do it. This room that I'm in, all of a sudden I put it off. And then one day it just got so big because I lost my other office. It's like I had no other choice but to work on creating a little room that I could film it, right? My why got strong enough, which is funny because it's not 100% complete, because the part that you see is complete. I'm happy, even though I need to finish off the rest of it. So it's kind of funny. When people call me up on coaching calls or I do my bookkeeping calls with people, I laugh because it's got a screen behind it, because that room is a disaster, and it's been a disaster for 20 years. Not that specific room, but an office that I've had over the last 20 years, because my why is not strong enough to clean it all up and to deal with all the paperwork and everything else. It's just that why is not there. Does it have anything to do with the business? Believe it or not, it does, because sometimes I sit there and I know I need to work on a project, but instead I look around this room and I go, oh, God, I still have to finish this stuff. Or, even if I'm not going to do either one, I spend valuable brain cells talking or thinking about it for at least 15, 20 minutes to a half hour. And in the meantime, if I would have just focused on one project, guess what? I probably could have knocked it out and got it done, whether it was in the office or if it was in the business, but I would have made progress. And that's one of those things that I think a lot of people can resonate with, because you do the exact same thing. So I know this is a little off topic from numbers, but I can tie it into that as well, because some of you guys, you need to know your business numbers, you need to dive into your bookkeeping, and yet you don't, because once again, your why is not strong enough. You have not associated those business numbers with your business's success and with the fact that you can grow your profits, grow your sales, and make a heck of a lot more money. There's people that I work with that sometimes it's like they know they need to get it done. So they'll reach out and they're like, okay, we need to get this done. But yet when we talk about different things that they need to work on, their why is not strong enough and they don't get there. I know eventually they're going to get there because that why is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And at some point it's going to be like, holy crap, I got to get this done. I've had other people that have called me up and it's like they went from nothing to all of a sudden it's bam, 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 I got to get all this done. And I'm like, what on earth happened? Why are you so motivated? Once again, the why behind it shifted and gave them a lot of motivation to make things happen. And I'm not talking about any specific people here. So if you're someone I work with, trust me, it's just a trend that I've seen as I work with people. It's that why, it's that motivation. When the why is there, people make crap happen. When the why is not strong, they kind of puddle along knowing they need to do something and they just don't get it done. And especially when it comes to their numbers, their bookkeeping, their the steps they need to take. Maybe it's working on their marketing. It's just it doesn't excite them, so they don't do it. All kinds of different things. So that why is a huge thing. And I really encourage you to really tap into when you find yourself not doing something, ask yourself, what is my why? Why do I want to get this done? What is my motivation? And guess what? If it's not, there's just nothing there, then take it off your plate until there is a why. Sometimes we let crap rattle around forever in a day instead of just putting it aside and deal with it when there is a why behind it. Instead, go focus on something that you can get excited about, that needs to get done. So that way it's a little bit better. So like I said, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm talking about this because, like I said, I've run into quite a few people over the last few weeks that really need to hear this, myself included, okay? Because there's things I need to get done. And I think that we all need to really tap into that why and what motivates us. And if you don't know for sure, think about when you've been most successful in the past and what is it that has motivated you? What are those themes that you've noticed every time you went out and you slayed dragons and you made things happen? What was that why, and how can you interpret that into the things that you need to get done today? All right, so just a little project for you to be able to do. And if you are interested in the book, like I said, I'll put a link down below. It's a really great audiobook to listen to for those of you that listen to podcasts and whatnot. I'd plug it in and just listen to it. I think you're going to find that you're going to walk away with some really good tips. All right, with that, I'm out of here, and I will talk to you next time. Bye for now.